I'm Andrea Radek.
And I'm Kristen Plesko.
So today we're going to talk about... What are we talking about?
The difference between, I guess, freelance and then, like, a desktop art.
Yeah, how workflow happens in an Illustrator desk job versus freelance. And so we both work at Star City Games. Mm-hmm. And that's our basis for our desk job.
Well, I guess like with freelance, there are a lot of similarities between the two. Like, basically, you have someone give you a description.
Right.
You know. But the nice thing about, I guess, the desktop job is sometimes you can influence a little easier. Because, like, basically with the freelance, they already have a specific, like, thing in mind. But a lot of times with the desk job stuff...
Not always.
Not always, yeah. That's true.
Not both of us.
Well, it depends on... I guess it depends on what you have to do.
Yeah, like, okay, so with an Illustrator desk job, it does have a lot of the same similarities. It's just, you know, you have a deadline, you have a general description, and you have a place to work.
It's very important. It's a cubicle.
No, it's not.
I like it.
I don't.
Well, considering, like, when I first started working there, we had white tables that were just, like, they're like casual card tables, and now we have official gray cubicles. And I can hang up things on my cubicle.
I don't know. It seems like a very stuffy environment, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't like its stuffiness.
Oh.
It just feels like I'm working as, like, an accountant somewhere.
But you're just loafing off by drawing?
Yeah, sort of, yeah. So I would say, let's say we have two different projects, and both the projects are due in about 3 weeks. So with work, it tends to be at least for me, it tends to be a fairly complex project. They used to give me 3 weeks. They give me 2 weeks now because I was getting them done in less than 3 weeks. And it was mostly just for my own benefit. They'll give me multiple projects at once.
That's always nice.
Yeah, and it's not like an overloading of work. It's more that it allows me, you know, I'm like, I'm not feeling working on this thing today. I'll work on this other thing, you know, and so I can sort of balance between the two, which is nice. Our work also allows us to, you know, sort of take mental breaks a little bit, that we can just sort of, like, stretch back, you know, read up something on Reddit real quick.
Yeah, we basically, our job is to finish something before the deadline.
Yeah.
And as long as, you know, whatever means necessary, you know, sacrificing mice to the dark gods, you know, I don't know. But...
Well, like, it's definitely a very hard, I would take that back. It's not really a hard deadline. It's just a really suggested deadline, but it's not so detrimental if you go over it.
Yeah. Things happen, but usually the deadlines are pretty generous. At least from, like, mine seem very generous. So a lot of times I'll
But a lot of the times companies, like freelance companies, if you don't hit that deadline, some companies have in place that you lose how much money you make from them.
Yeah.
There tends to be other things at play where it's like, you know, for each day that you're late, $50 less you get paid type of thing.
I haven't seen that before.
Oh, yeah. No.
Really?
A few companies.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I read the contract,
it's an
and I didn't see that.
Yeah. Some other ones that you can get sued for being late.
Yeah.
You can, because you're more or less dragging down their production.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot more detrimental to be late in a freelance setting. And you don't want to be that type of person anyways. You want to get stuff done, you know, on time or early.
Yeah. Early is probably better.
Yeah.
A lot of times, art directors will purposefully set the deadlines earlier than they need to be, anticipating some people will be late.
Yeah.
Which is smart, which is something you should always do. So, you know, so for what it's worth, I mean, yeah, I guess also you would probably know your work environment. Like, like we have a much more casual work environment than, you know, like a stuffy desk job. And also we have, compared to, like, I'm working in the government and I have to wear a suit and tie and a jacket. And,
yeah, it's very casual. It's business casual. But then again, when I'm freelancing, I tend to be in my pajama pants and just pajamas all day, so it's extremely casual then. But
yeah, and it's nice. The nice thing is that we can take those extended breaks, which we would for freelance anyway, but, like, we can't just constantly work for an 8-hour stretch because our arms will destroy themselves.
Yeah, actually, I have a fantastic, when I first started working with Star City Games, I was doing that it was like 8 hours just straight through. And how long did I work for them? And I sprained my wrist really bad from overworking. was like a month and a half. 2
Yeah,
months.
it wasn't that long.
It was not.
Yeah.
It was not that long, and essentially my bones just started pushing away from themselves, from each other, because
There's a lot of swelling and...
Well, I was constantly sort of rubbing my hand on the edge of the desk, and that would irritate it, and then it was awful. It was really awful. And that took quite a while for that to heal. Or I think I had it happen one time, but it was minor. And then I got some, like, sort of physical therapy for it. And then the next time that I wanted to get that, I did, like, 3 months with these people just trying to heal my hand, and it just was not doing it. I think them, like, just rubbing on it all the time was just pissing it off more, honestly.
Yeah. With mine, it felt a lot better. Like, I have tendinitis, and it felt, like, so awesome when they basically were, like, strangling my arm to get, I guess, whatever fluids or whatever bullshit thing they had to... I don't know if it's real or not, or if it's just... It feels nice like a massage, but it's hard to do a placebo to see if it actually helps, or if it's just like...
No, it does help.
It does? Okay, I don't know.
But yeah, I think I've sprained my wrist working for SCG probably 3 times now. I'm on my 3rd right now. Part of that is my fault, though, because I was playing Path of Exile with Jenna, and it's a very click-intensive game.
Yeah, you can't play those games.
Yeah.
That's one reason I do not play games as much anymore, is because I have a choice, and I can either play games, or I can draw. And I would much rather draw. And that sucks, because I do like playing games. So sometimes I'll take drawing time and just put it towards clicking time.
Yeah, I would say that's also the difference in doing something freelance. Like, I know for myself, if I get myself up early in the morning to work, like, unless I'm at work, I have absolutely no will to do painting or anything in the morning. It's because I do not function in the morning. Mm-hmm. I'm very much a night owl type of thing, and my most productive hours tend to be between, like, 10:30 to, like, 2 a.m. is when I'm actually really productive. And
not mine.
I sort of I sort of plan for that. So like throughout the day, I'll try to get as much work as I can done. But I'm just I don't really feel like, just sort of all over the place. Like I keep my deadline in mind, but like the days that I'm really inspired, I'll work as hard as I can for as long as I can. I also drink now more than ever a shitload of those Starbucks Frappuccinos.
Because the sugar in those is
I know, but the caffeine helps keep me on point for quite a bit longer.
Caffeine pills.
No.
The thing that you can overdose and accidentally kill yourself on caffeine.
No thank you.
You need a lot of pills to kill yourself.
That's perfectly fine. I'm just going to drink Frappuccinos. So, yeah, for those, I definitely try to work peak hours. When I'm at actual work, though, it's sort of like a conditioning thing. I know I'm supposed to sit there, and I know I'm supposed to work. Mm-hmm. And we have a deal with them now that we work 4 hours. Well, we have, like, Monday and Tuesday, we work from home, which has been nice, which sort of allows us that time, like, as long as we get that 8 hours in, So it's less of me being a zombie from 9 a.m. to about noon, because I cannot function. And then start picking up after that, Yeah, so Monday and Tuesday, we're at home. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're at work for 4 hours, and we have to work the rest of the hours on our own time afterwards. Which is really nice for scheduling doctor's appointments, or, hey, I gotta go to the store while it's open, It's nice to sort of balance those things off.
Like,
and
time to take a break for my hand. Also, I can go to the post office.
I'm gonna go take a nap for an hour and a half. Like, I can't do that at work, so... But it does tend to lead us to working fairly late at night, because it'd be an hour and a half.
I work a lot earlier in the evening than you do, though, usually.
You also do some working before.
Yeah, basically, I'm weird, and I'm not a night owl. I'm I guess, not really an early bird. I guess I switch depending on how... I like working. Normal. I like waking up at about 7 o'clock and then start at, this morning I started work at 7.
Yeah, I cannot function.
Yeah, for me I like it because it's quiet. I feel fairly refreshed, and I like it because it gets me keyed up for work. And if I wake up too late, I just feel like crap the rest of the day. And so and then I end up staying up late, and I just feel like guilt. So I like waking up early because, one, I can call my parents or something and talk
whatever
to them.
Works for you, honestly.
Yeah. Basically, the freelance, and I guess the nice thing about our job is, since you like working later, you're able to. And since I like working earlier, I can do that. Right. And we both can basically do what we need to do.
Yeah, and that's very good on them to do that, honestly.
Yeah, and it saves our arms.
And then Fridays, we have a meeting that we do. Where it's us in the graphic design department, which we are more or less a part of the graphic design department. So we're both...
We used to both be graphic designers.
Yes. We were
But,
both graphic designers with the company.
Yeah.
Very short amount of time.
I was a long time.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, I was like a year and a half.
I was like 3 months.
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
But that was my major, so I was totally fine doing the design.
If you loved, was it April Fool's 2014, that was all me. I edited all the pictures to be funny.
Oh, yeah, the mustaches?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
We weren't able to put the mustaches
Oh,
on
damn it. I remember...
Because that would have been like a defamation of, like, because it was on our SCG people, put all the mustaches. No, it was just like, I just edited all the magic cards and I just made them goofy.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody...
Because I remember the mustache thing we passed around at work and it was really funny. So I didn't know they weren't able to put that up.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, mustaches are super funny. So, I mean, not saying I'm immature.
But it is nice of them to do that. So we on Fridays, we have about an hour-long meeting where we all talk about what we've done that week and stuff. Our boss comes around behind us probably like once a day.
Yeah.
Once or twice a day.
Whenever he has time.
What you doing? How's things going? You know, I'm like, oh, hey, I've been working on this illustration. Mm-hmm. Here's what it looks like here. We also have like a board that we post to with updates, you know, semi-weekly or once a week. Fairly
frequently. I mean, we definitely... Well, apparently, like, the project I was working on, I didn't have a board post for, like, a week and a half into it. Well, so sometimes things like that happen, but since you're basically working automatically to a deadline, it doesn't always matter, especially when your boss knows what you're doing.
For me, I was working on 2017's Creature Collection stuff, and it turns out that the one that I'm working on was scheduled for November of next year, which is kind of ridiculous, because now I have to, like, scramble do January, February, March, because we need, like, 8 months or so down the line.
Yeah, just due to printing and stuff. So that's the other cool thing about working for a company like SUG is that we can be somewhat involved in, like, looking at the proofs. We know, well...
Not me.
Oh. Well, I also was a designer, so for a while we got to see... Like, when we hired, like, Julie Dillon and stuff, like, we got to test out the proofs and stuff, and that was a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed that part of design. We have a big printer, so...
Yeah, we have a mega printer now. It is my desk mate.
It's like a Canon IP 4500 or something.
It's like a massive printer.
It's a big 24-inch... 36-inch. Or is it 24 or 36 inches? It's pretty big.
I think it's 36.
Yeah, it's quite large.
It is.
So it's very cool. The ink cartridges are very expensive.
Yeah, but essentially working a desk job is kind of like working any other desk job, except I have people that come by and stand behind my chair and like, oh, what's that? And then I have to explain the pun to them. Oh, wow! When's that happening? November of next year. I'm sorry.
I know, that's yeah, mine, usually the deadlines are closer, because I literally, we have to wait until Wizards gives us a hint of what the next thing is, and I literally cannot do anything until there's somewhat of a hint. And sometimes it takes them a while to, do the thing.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh man, what's the next set gonna be? And we're waiting. And then we're waiting.
I also have to wait on those for our pre-release mats and everything.
Yeah. So those are the ones where we actually do have deadlines fairly soon.
Some of them, like... Creature Collection stuff tends to be more or less set in stone about a year in advance. Sometimes. Not this time.
Yeah.
It's very busy, so it's like March.
Which seems fairly standard, because even with freelance, it takes a long time for this stuff to go to print and stuff. Like, at least 6 months.
I would say your stuff tends to be done fairly quickly. Like, it tends to be for something that's maybe a month or two down the line. Like, you don't have to do any sort of... It's the sleeves that always take forever.
Oh, you're talking about SCG stuff. Yeah. Yeah, because if they're ordered from China, there's like a specific way they have to be shipped. And I guess, you have to wait.
It takes like 8 months.
Yeah, they basically don't ship until I think they fill up a cargo container or something. That's what I've heard.
Oh,
God. And you don't want your cargo container, like, you don't want to ship those with like a bunch of onions. So I guess there's like, apparently they will not ship a half full container.
Huh.
So I guess, I'm not sure... I'm not sure if that's true. That's just what I've heard. So I'm not an expert on if you want a good shipping price.
So through work, at least for my stuff, it has to be done about 8 months in advance. Yeah. So that's why I have to start hustling my bustle and the stuff for January of next year, because...
Yeah, because the deadline is
coming up. Creature, or the pre-release stuff tends to be done... Not that far before it's printed. We have a company that we do the playmats through, that they get stuff done like crazily
I
fast.
think they're in California.
Are they?
Yeah.
Someplace domestically, but
I've ordered from them before.
oh,
so,
there you go.
Yeah.
They print stuff up super fast, so
Yeah.
those ones tend to be done maybe a month or two before. So at least stuff for that. Most of some of the companies, like the freelance companies I work for, if it's done in a book, it tends to be about 6 or 7 months in advance. Quite a while.
At least, because sometimes it can take longer.
Yeah, sometimes it's like twice that.
Really depends on the project. But,
It does.
Yeah, but I don't think you would normally see something before 4 months after you finish it.
Oh, God, no.
There's just no way. Because, like, with the printing of the book and then having to get it shipped from China, because you don't print things in the U.S., you print it in China.
Yeah.
Unless you're a board game, and then apparently you can print in Germany, and that's a thing.
Huh.
Yeah, that's...
I didn't know that.
You know, I guess there's a lot of parts, so I guess it sometimes is worth it. So...
What else is there?
I guess, obviously, when you have a job with a business that employs you full-time, you do get, if they have more than 50 employees, you do get health insurance.
That's true. Yeah, we both get health insurance. We both
Yeah.
get pretty good health insurance.
Oh, yeah. They cover a good amount.
I thought that I had broken my scapula, whatever, shoulder blade, and went to the urgent care clinic down the road. I walked to the urgent care clinic down the road in the snow.
Because I was in D.C., I couldn't take you.
Yeah, and it was also a terrible snowstorm.
Yeah.
All sorts of other shit.
Yeah.
But it ended up costing me like $38 for
Yeah.
that. Just fantastic.
It is.
And I got in and out of there like 20 minutes, which is great. So yeah, health insurance definitely makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You might live in a country, though, where you already have it provided.
Well,
which,
yeah, then...
You know, so then...
Less
I guess
necessary,
then that's not a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Although sometimes, apparently, they have health insurance extra anyway that you can get.
Yeah.
Like a supplemental.
There's another question that we have on here where it's... What is it? It's towards the bottom. Are there many of these commercial jobs that make enough money by themselves? And we've touched on this a little bit in the past. 95% of the time, I would say everybody
Exactly
has
the
some
number.
sort of part-time job.
Yeah.
Everybody tends to have some sort of job. Illustrators tend to have some sort of job on the side that provides them either insurance or provides them some amount of steady income so that they have the ability to pick and choose the type of projects they want to take.
Yeah.
Or, you're going to be
Until they
stuck
become a lot more established.
Yeah, but even then, like, most of the times they'll have, like, even, like, some of the bigger name artists and stuff, they tend to have, like, a desk job with, like a concept art or, like, a video game company and stuff. They all tend to work with somebody else. And then, their freelance is sort of on the side.
Yeah. Or they have a spouse that they can get insurance through.
Right. But most of the time,
yeah.
they tend to have a second job.
Yeah.
And that's very, very normal. So if these commercial jobs make enough money by themselves, none of them are really going to make enough money by themselves. You can survive on just doing freelance, and I did that for 3 or 4 years, and I don't suggest it. It was hell.
Yeah.
I was showing good.
That's great. There we go.
I was showing Joe the other day some of the videos I used to make in college. And he's like, wow, you look so young-faced in there. And I'm like, I don't look old, man. He's like, no, you just look like the world has worn you down. I'm like, well, that's what 3 or 4 years of commissions are going to do to you.
That's always fun how that works out. And you're like, oh my God. It's like, Obama after 8 years of office. And like, why is your hair so gray?
Yeah. It's pretty much that. It's just like, because I do. I still more or less look the same. I look just worn out by the world. And that I would say
also
that's
could
exactly...
just be getting older, getting...
Well, yeah, I'm 10 years older, but...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you've been out of college. Hold on, wait, how long? When did you go to college?
When I was 18. I'm just saying, the videos from when I was 18
You
or
went
19.
to college young then. Okay.
Yeah, right out of high school.
Huh. I had to wait, because I wasn't mature enough. I ended up... Yeah, I went to VCU when I was 22.
Oh.
Or 22. It was that year.
Like 4 years of just... Were you bumming around Europe? What were you doing?
No, I was working, and then I went to community college part-time. I graduated when I was 17. No, you know what? Maybe... I don't actually know. You know what? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure...
I went to college at 18.
Yeah.
I got out at 23. It took me 5
Okay.
years. And...
Okay.
Yeah. And then did the freelancing.
College always takes 5 years. Maybe that's what's throwing me off, is I was like, how long did I take again?
How old I am?
How long have I worked? I've been working. Star City Games is literally my first job, my first real job that wasn't retail, and I've stuck with it. So they pay well, and
they do. No,
I enjoy the
area. It offers a good amount of
and,
stability,
and I enjoy the design, and I enjoy working. I enjoy the people we work with. Like, I was always worried that in a real job you'd have like, it'd be like Seinfeld or something, where it'd be like just terrible all the time. But then I realized that. At least with this one, it's pretty nice.
There are a good amount of stability and everything, which is nice. And literally, I'm illustrating for a living in a full-time job and getting paid salary for it. That's very rare. Like, that really doesn't happen. So, yeah, if you want to be an illustrator, just get a part-time job. Yeah, everybody
you
does
gotta have something else that you enjoy.
A friend of mine has won. What's the comic awards?
I don't know.
Some sort of comic award things. He's won like 3 of them. He works as a butcher part-time.
Yeah, but if you have a passion for something else, that's a really good opportunity to do it. Like,
well, I mean, you're going to want to put your all into either thing. Obviously, you don't get a job that it's just like, we break fingers for a living, do something where it's compatible
That's what I think
it.
butcher would be. Like, I accidentally sliced off my finger and it went into the meat grinder,
If you're an idiot, do that.
Or if it's the 20s, and, because isn't that the...
Yeah, the jungle.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's a good story, but
it is a good story. But yeah, basically,
like,
freelance jobs. You can exist on freelance jobs alone, but I do not suggest it.
Yeah.
It is a terrible road.
But if I was like a geologist or something, which was the other thing I wanted to do, I would still illustrate and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would probably be, instead of doing full-time illustration, I'd just be doing a couple of freelance projects every once in a while.
There was a company that I interned with out of college. No, I was still in college. A company called Shock Creative. They did the commercials for some medicine. It was like made of clay, and they were back in like the later 2000s, early 2010s.
Is it?
I don't know. They had a really unique thing,
dirt?
but those are the people that did that. And I interned learning 3ds Max and Maya. And it was a friend of a friend. It was my aunt's friends that I sort of got to see their workflow and everything, and they had like one copy of Photoshop that they went between all of them, and they like pirated a lot of them. But
yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Well, I mean, they were legal, they were up to date on their stuff. It was just like, we just have to sort of switch these off, and it's like, goodness. But the thing that always really bothered me about them is that they were all artists, and I mean, they're more or less doing marketing. They weren't really doing artist things at all. They were just sort of marketing, and I had asked them. Like, so what did you guys do? What did you go to college for? Oh, I went to college for illustration. Oh, I went to college for this. And it was a bunch of art degrees and stuff. And I'm like, you guys still draw? And they're like, no, we don't draw anymore. And it scared the shit out of me when I was younger. I'm like, I can't get a full-time job. I'm never going to draw anymore. But, I mean, the way that they had explained it is their creative needs were met through the work that they were doing.
Yeah, which is fine. You could very well enjoy.
You can. But I'm just saying, it's like, I don't think that sentiment is actually true. I think if you shouldn't be afraid to get a job that it's going to sort of squash your want to be an illustrator or anything like that. Yeah. I mean, as long as you still have that drive and you still try.
You could try also to get a job that complements the art. Like, I liked, the reason I went into design was because I felt it really complemented art. Because there's a lot of, like, you need to be able to lay out business cards and work on websites and stuff. And that's definitely a skill that you would need as an illustrator anyway. And you can make money. That's honestly why I took the graphic design job with work, is because I got to look at other people's art all day, and I'm like, oh man, I want to do this. I'm going to draw the things when I get home. And you get to judge them when you see the high resolution one, and you're like, zoom in, and you're like, what the hell is this? Oh my god, they spent no time on this. No. and then it ruins a lot of artists for you when you look at their art up close sometimes. Yeah, some of them. Some of them, but other ones you're just like, oh. Sometimes you zoom in and then you have more respect for them, which is always really fun. Or you go to a LuxCon and you realize that they did everything traditionally, and you're like, yeah, Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine it. But yeah, basically those are some of the differences between a desk job and a freelance job. It is definitely worth it to have that type of peace of mind and that insurance. Yeah, there's a Venn diagram in there. And then just work your ass off other times. Yeah, so. Like, just be realistic, but but be daring. Be dashing. Okay.
Well, I've been Andrew Radick.
And I'm Kristen Plesko.
If you guys have any questions or anything, refrigeratorpodcast@gmail.com, and have a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.